Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. We've been coming to you live from Barcelona at SmartCon 2023 by Chainlink. Joining me to round out our coverage on Nasdaq TradeTalks, we have Sergey Nazarov. He's a co-founder of Chainlink, the industry standard Web3 services platform that's enabled over $8.5 trillion in transaction value. Chainlink enables developers to build feature-rich Web3 applications with seamless access to real-world data and off-chain computation across any blockchain, and provides global enterprises with a universal gateway to all blockchains. Sergey, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks. Thanks for having us here in Barcelona.
Thanks for being here. Great to see you.
You got it. What is the verifiable web, and what role does Chainlink play in it?
Sure. The verifiable web is the way the internet can work when people have guarantees about their ability to know how a system works before they join the system, their ability to verify how the system is operating as they're in the system, and that they're guaranteed to be able to leave the system at any point according to the conditions that they verified initially. So the verifiable web is really what Web3 and blockchains and oracles and smart contracts is building. It's the ability for people to verify the system they're entering, how that system is working, and have the option to leave in a way that isn't controlled by anyone else other than them.
Why is security and decentralization so important for connecting blockchains to each other? And what are the 5 different levels of cross-chain security? Why are they so important?
So for the verifiable web to work, you need a few key things. You need data, compute, and cross-chain connectivity. All 3 of those depend on the security of the systems that provide them. If the security of the system doesn't exist, then whatever you verified as being true could end up being untrue because the system could be broken. The 5 levels of security are really the degrees to which you can create security through decentralization, and decentralization is the mechanism that's used by blockchains and oracle networks and smart contracts to create the security that allows people to verify things and then rely on what they verified still being there later for them. So those 5 levels are a single server, multiple servers controlled by a single private key holder, a network of nodes, so a single network, multiple separate networks, and then at the 5th level, you have multiple networks combined to make a single service, to make a single data stream, or to make a single cross-chain connection, or to make a single automation task. This is really what Chainlink works on. It works on creating infrastructure that creates these high levels of security that when you combine them with blockchains or existing systems, you reach the state of a verifiable system. And in creating this verifiable system, you arrive at a place where people can know the systems they're getting into before they join. They can know what's going on in the system as they're in it, and they can always choose to leave in a way that they verified before and in a way that's under their control.
Earlier this year, Chainlink released the cross-chain interoperability protocol known as CCIP on mainnet and published a report with Swift and a dozen other financial institutions, including DTCC and ANZ, about how CCIP can make interoperability between private and public blockchains happen. Could you tell us more about the interest from institutions in the capital market space and how CCIP is creating a global internet of contracts?
So the interest is already very large and rapidly growing. Every single bank that has its own chain or is looking to make its own chain now understands that without interoperability with other chains, they will be stuck on what they call a liquidity island. So they will be stuck in their own chain without the ability for anyone else to purchase or use whatever they create, which is a very bad situation because when you create assets, you want people to buy them. So right now, there's this phase of realization that if I'm a bank and I make my own chain, people will not join my chain. People will stay in their wallet or in their system or in their chain, even if they want to transact with me. So what CCIP does is it links these different chains into this one internet of contracts. And that one internet of contracts, when you link it together with enough banks, becomes the largest liquidity layer. So it becomes the place where the most and the largest amount of banks and value can sit and be used by both other banks and eventually Web3 public blockchain applications. The banks now understand that without a way to interoperate with their counterparties' chains and with public chains, they won't be able to be successful in whatever assets they create, no matter how good their brand or how good the asset. And so interoperability is now a hard requirement for whatever asset or whatever chain they make to become successful.
Right. And Chainlink has been seeing growing momentum both in the Web3 and capital markets, with a large presence at Sibos and recent announcements with some of the world's largest financial institutions. Now at Chainlink's annual conference, SmartCon 2023, Chainlink has announced several major platform releases like Chainlink data streams. Can you talk about what these new developments unlock for creating a verifiable web and on-chain finance? What are the other areas of focus that's coming up for the year?
So Chainlink has now evolved into a platform that can provide three key categories of developer tools and infrastructure. The first one is cryptographically verified data that can be proven to behave in a certain way and can be verified to be secure and immune to manipulation. That data creates many exciting applications like DeFi, but it isn't enough. You then need compute, and now Chainlink, with the release of functions, is providing the most advanced compute capabilities ever in its history to make more advanced smart contract applications. And then the final thing that it started to provide is cross-chain through CCIP, which we just discussed. When you provide verifiable data, verifiable compute, and verifiable cross-chain connectivity, you create advanced smart contracts that can also be connected with each other in this Internet of Contracts. And that is really the beginning of this verifiable web, where more advanced applications can be verified and proven to work in certain ways. The further things that we're going to see happening with Chainlink are really going to be around each of these categories: improving more data streams, more high quality data, more identity data, better compute capabilities, and increasingly better cross-chain connectivity between hundreds of different chains, so that you can not only get the data, you can not only get the compute, but you can also get all the connectivity and access to the liquidity that you need for your chain and the applications on your chain to be successful. That's really the next stage. And then the final part of that will be payments and making it easier and easier for developers and banks and web applications to use Chainlink and to get access to more Oracle networks and to configure them to meet their requirements.
All right, Sergey, we appreciate the insight. It's been fascinating watching the community and the business grow. Thank you for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me from Barcelona at SmartCon 2023 by Chainlink. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.